I Want to Jump Like Dee Dee, with me, Giles Sibbald, is the music podcast that does music a bit differently. I'm talking to some incredible musicians, DJs and producers about how they use an experimental mindset to fuel their own creativity, pursue new challenges, overcome fears, bounce back from mistakes. My guest today plays keys in the magnificently retro/futuristic surfy psychedelic cumbia band Los Bitchos. And at the time of recording this episode, their debut album, Let The Festivities Begin, and a UK and Euro tour are imminent. The music is this sort of gloriously frenzied kaleidoscope of rhythms, percussion, guitars, synths, and this sort of wonderfully, evocative keytar. And there's no vocals. Agustina came to the UK from Uruguay after being scouted by a fashion agency, did some modeling, and then the kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 calling of Dee Dee Ramone, and just sort of came along, and she joined with Sarah and Carolina from the band, and the rest, is kind of history. So Agustina Ruiz, welcome to I Want to Jump Like Dee Dee. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, thanks you for having me. You're well informed about
that's what I said before. This is like a well-oiled machine that sort of does its research. It kind of knows what it's doing. And I also did you see what I did with the Dee Dee Ramone? I mean, you don't get that sort of quality reference because Dee Dee Ramone is a kind of favorite of yours, right?
It's my favorite one.
And same for me as well. I mean, I kind of grew up on the Ramones. That was my first sort of love of music. I mean, how did you sort of come into the Ramones?
I was a teenager and it changed my life. I don't know. It just changed the way I think, changed the way I see life. And Dee Dee especially, he was such a poet and he was such a good writer.
Totally. It's funny. I mean, I remember when I first saw them play live. I'm going to give my age away here, but I saw them in 1986. That was the first time that I saw them in Preston, in the north here. Yeah. And that was just like, and I'd loved them since about, probably 81 or something like that. Was when I was, I was kind of like 13 at that time, 12, 13. And I just loved them so much. I mean, I was the same as you. When I first heard them, that was it. It was just like, and it was Judy as a Punk. That was the first song that I heard.
Really? I'm so jealous you saw them play.
I saw them 2 or 3 times. Saw them play.
Wow.
Yeah. They were. I mean, Dee Dee was great. You're right. I mean, such a kind of poet and sort of underrated. I mean, I think he's getting more acknowledgement now.
Yeah.
Such a poet. Yeah.
He was really underrated, and I think also because of all the struggle he's got with his addictions and everything. And a lot of people didn't take him seriously at the time. Yeah.
Just incredible. I mean, did you kind of like, when you sort of first heard them when you were a teenager? I mean, was that your friends that you sort of grew up with? Were they sort of into the same kind of thing as you?
Not really. I mean, I had 2 groups of friends. My school friends who were more like listening to the trendy music, and then my friends from like gigs that. Well, I'm still friends with both of those groups, but the ones from gigs were the ones that actually, we had the same music. Yeah. And with my best mate, Alan, that he loves the Ramones as well, we created a punk band when we were like 17. And we actually played for Richie Ramone.
Oh, wow.
When we were 19. I know it's not the best Ramone, but sorry, Richie, but it was still amazing. Yeah. Really
wow! How did you come out that you played with Richie? Was you just got in touch with him, or you got in touch with you?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like my friend Alan, the bass player, he was really like, well, we were really in the punk scene back in Uruguay, and to be honest, I have no idea. I don't remember, but we did it, and it was fun.
What was that? Kind of like, I'm always really interested in your kind of physical surroundings, your environment. So you kind of grew up in Montevideo, right?
Yeah.
What was that kind of scene like? To either just kind of like a hangout scene. Was it creative? Did you kind of get drawn into that kind of creative scene?
Yeah, at least my friends, yeah, they're all creatives. Even now, I meet them all. Actually, meet them all studying cinema on Saturdays when I was 15.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I met like that group of friends. And yeah, they end up being like in bands or doing movies or short films or
Yeah.
But I always knew I wanted. Sorry. Yeah.
No, carry on. No, carry on.
Yeah. No, that I always knew I wanted to be part of that scene all my life since I'm a little girl. Yeah.
And what was it? Were the kind of good venues to play? Was it kind of quite a supportive scene that allowed you to?
There was not many options. I think there are more now than 15 years ago when we had the band, and more in the punk scene. Like it was me and another band that had a girl singing on it.
Yeah.
It was quite close, but we managed to get the gigs and yeah.
And then I mean, how do you? I mean, in sort of comparison to London, kind of what sort of London gives you from that creativity and that, I guess, that kind of choice that's available.
London has obviously much more opportunities.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people that you meet and a lot of situations that you end up in that are ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah. I'm sure there are some stories, maybe not for this time, but you never know. So you're about to so you got the just talking about the new record and the sort of the tour for a minute. Obviously you got kind of two massive events for you coming up sort of quite soon. Must be something special now.
Yeah, we can't wait. Well, we finished recording the album before COVID.
Yeah.
So it's been in hold for almost 2 years. We can't wait to put it out and just tour.
I was a previous episode. Well, the previous episode, it hasn't come out yet, but a band from New York, they had a sort of similar thing, but they had just released theirs. Literally just released it when everything stopped.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, we can't tour. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like terrible timing. I guess on the positive side for you guys, you've been able to hold it off. I mean, it must have been incredibly frustrating as well, having to hold off.
It was, but we feel like we needed to tour it because part of our band, I think, is also what on stage and dancing and like people joining us, and we didn't want to miss that.
Yeah.
So it's good that we hold it. And
I mean, I've not seen you live. I'm going to hopefully sort of see you, kind of when you play London, which I think is Scala. Are you playing Scala in London?
Second March. Yeah, you should come over.
I'll come over for that. Yeah. But yeah, so that kind of live vibe that you got is completely different to. Well, I'd say completely different, but there's an extra kind of thing about playing live, right?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, obviously, like I love the album and everything, but I think when we play live, it's just fun, even more fun.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like kind of, with the sort of the influences that you've kind of grown up with, what do you think that those kind of experiences or people that you've hung out with, what you've been doing, what do you think that's kind of given you, what kind of things to sort of navigate through life do you think that those things have given you
in life or for the album?
just kind of in general?
I think I'm quite shameless in the sense that, and that's because of my dad, I can be a quite like shy person sometimes and blah blah, but I'm shameless in the sense that like I always do what I want to do, and if I want to, like with the Bitchos, I didn't know how to play keyboard, and I was like, I want to join the band, I am gonna play keyboard, I don't care if I sound terrible for the next 10 years of my life, and and that's it, like, and it's just like at least I am doing it, and I'm doing what I want to do, and I am not hurting anyone. And I think growing up with my dad gave me that a lot, and my mom as well. Like they're both really just do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter what other people say or think. That really helped me.
I mean, that's a sort of great attitude to have, and a great kind of support to have to encourage you to do that. Because I mean, doing that, taking on the the keyboards, kind of when you haven't done it before, and it's like, oh my god, It's like for most people, I know what I would be. I'd be like, first reaction is like, oh shit, I can't do that. I can't play it. You know what am I going to do? But that's kind of like, you know, I guess the sort of the origins of, you know, kind of punk rock. You know, it's just like anybody can do this. You know, well, if they can do it, so can I.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that that's been the most important thing, the thing that shaped me the most in most decisions in my life. Even when I came to London and this agency scout me, I was like hungover, and my manager called me and he was like, "You gotta go to London and Paris in a week. You're doing Yves Saint Laurent." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know. I'll just go."
Oh my God.
And I came here not knowing anyone, and then I stayed. But it's those decisions that I think that change your life and they're worth doing. What's the worst that can happen to you? You can die. Yeah, but like that's, you know, that's like the worst that can happen to you.
Worst that can happen. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, having that, you know, where you just, you know, kind of prepared to, it's almost like that desire to take those sort of chances just sort of overrules any kind of fear, you know, that you have, which I think is fantastic to be able to do that. So when you were kind of like, I mean that's an interesting one, you know, when you sort of first came to London, you didn't know anybody, you know, and then you know, did you sort of feel, you know, kind of anxious about that? Was that just like a whole kind of like range of emotions going on for you?
Well, I first came to London actually when I was 16. I was studying English. And then the second time was with my manager. Well, alone, he wasn't here, when I was 24. And I didn't feel anxiety. I don't know why. I don't have like a clear memory of everything, obviously, but I don't remember feeling anxious. I actually was really happy. And then I met my friend Javier, who is from Uruguay as well. And he took me to gigs and I started meeting people. I immediately got like, I don't know, I was just like, I want to stay here.
You just kind of got sort of straight into the life.
Yeah.
And what was it that kind of gave you that, I guess, you know, kind of, you know, made you look to music again, you know, but getting back into the music scene?
I really missed it. It's whatever, like modeling is obviously helped me. I've been doing it since I'm 14. And economically helped me, and I am really grateful on that side, but it was never a dream of mine. What I wanted to do was music all my life, and when I realized I could do music here as well, I straight back to it.
Did you know the other band members?
Well, Sarah and I started it. Well, Sarah started it, and then I was, Sarah, I want to join you and learn keyboard.
And the you know, kind of sometimes, you know, sort of putting, you know, a group of people together, you know, from a sort of collaboration perspective and, you know, kind of different ideas. I mean, it's it's very different to kind of doing things on your own. You know, you know, different people work in different ways. I mean, you know, kind of like being in the band and sort of working together. I mean, from how I see you, you look, you know, kind of like extremely close, you know, like you sort of best friends, you know, very tight knit, you know, and you know, how do you work together? Do you know, kind of work well together? Well, obviously you do work well together, but
we hate each other.
You're not going to say no, we hate each other. But you know, do you find that you quickly sort of learn how other people work?
Yeah, we're family. Like the four of us, we really love each other. And Sarah is the one that does like most of the songs. Obviously, she's an amazing writer, and she always sends us like demos, and we will send her like little bits that we think it could be cool, or so that's like the way we worked. But it's always different as well, and that's the thing also about our band. We don't have a formula for anything. We don't take ourselves too seriously, so it's always pretty
and you have I mean, you know, in the band's kind of sound, I mean, so many, you know, different influences. I don't like the word genres, but I think it's maybe it's too narrow. if you like.
Yeah, and it doesn't apply
My,
for this band, I think.
It doesn't apply for this band because you have so many influences coming in. You got the, yeah, just kind of so many that come in. I mean, do you find it like when you're writing, that all these different influences come in and you're just open-minded to take on new ideas?
Yes. We have a lot of Turkish, obviously, like Sarah's mom is Turkish, so she grew up listening to Turkish music, the girl as well, and I now really like South American music. We also have a lot of like Swedish pop on it, a lot of, and also a lot of like punk, because now we added some vocals in some songs that are just yelling. But I think it's really influenced in like in Dee Dee Ramone chorus, and when he used to yell in the songs.
Absolutely.
So we kind of have that as well now.
I'm trying to think for the life of me who might have brought that influence in. I can't think who it might have been.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think that's there are so many. There's so much kind of like sort of beauty in having that, in having those sort of different kind of influences, and just trying things out. I mean, it kind of like helps keep everything sort of fresh, doesn't it? And it just helps you to with your own creativity as well, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and we learned so much about also like I learned like we also had a radio show last year during lockdown.
Oh yeah,
and that made us like know so much about new bands and everything.
Yeah,
it's good to learn about music.
How did that idea for the radio show come about?
They asked us if we wanna do a radio show for them, and I don't know who came with the idea, but I remember that Nick, the drummer, came with the name idea, Los Bitchos. And then we thought every episode is a different country. Okay.
And I like the the idea that you don't take yourself sort of too seriously, kind of like sort of life sort of going about having a laugh and sort of enjoying yourself. If the how do you feel about when things kind of don't go quite right, in whatever, whether this is with the band or just, kind of you yourself, things that kind of don't quite go to how you planned it. I mean, how do you sort of respond to those sort of situations?
I am really weird with that personally, because when something really dramatic happens, something really bad and doesn't go the way I wanted, I'm actually quite zen. And I'm like, it's fine. But when something really stupid doesn't go the way I want, like, I don't know, I ordered a pizza and it didn't bring the herb dip that I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, for fuck's sake. It's just, I have really weird mind in that sense.
It's funny, isn't it? That I always sort of wonder what kind of what makes us react in certain ways to something, some kind of big things, and it's like, okay, well, this kind of happens, and then I don't know. It's almost like you feel like those sort of things with the pizza. Yeah. It's like,
ruin my night.
Sake, why can't you? Why can't you? Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, it's kind of ruined my night.
Yeah,
I was sort of so looking forward to this.
Yeah.
It's you've you mentioned when you sort of first came to London, you got to into the gig scene and sort of going around. I mean, kind of building that your kind of, let's call it, network. It's a bit of a shit word, but you know what I mean. Just I mean, how important has that been for you?
Like, you mean like our friendships or people that we know, or
friendships, people that because I think there are, obviously, friendships are hugely, kind of important. And it's interesting. I was, and how I'm interested in how we kind of maintain friendships as well. I did an interview, which hasn't come out yet, with Emma Ruth Rundle. And she was saying that she finds it really difficult to hold on to friendships. like for kind of long periods of time. She doesn't have many friendships for, you know, over long
Really?
periods of time. Yeah. I know what she means sometimes with that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like me personally, I've sort of found that, you know, I've given up friendships. I look back with hindsight and think I've given them up sort of too easily, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I, like, interestingly, I kind of like reconnected with an old school friend of mine at last, it was just before COVID, actually.
Wow.
And I hadn't seen him for
Yeah.
years. And he was like my best friend,
Yeah.
you know?
I think it's weird. Yeah, I do have friends from when I was like 7 years old, and they're really
Yeah.
good friends of mine. And
Yeah.
I do have really long friendships,
Do you?
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think like not all the friends are for the same, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, totally.
some friends are for like I got some friends that I tell them everything. I got some friends
Mm,
that I maybe wouldn't tell them everything.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's funny I think how we, you know, sort of use our, you know, kind of gut instinct so much and in so many sort of different parts of our lives.
Yeah.
Is that something that, you know, kind of you rely on quite a lot, do you think?
And what do you mean?
You sort of instinct, you know, where it's just like
Ah,
you just get a sense.
like in my life, yeah. Like go with
Mm,
my gut, you mean?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. And it happened to me. I mean, I tend not to judge people, and I
Mm,
don't like to do it, but it happened to me a couple of times that I don't like someone, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just, I'm not gonna be a moody, grumpy person. I'm gonna try to give them an opportunity. And then I will say 95% of the time I was right. Like they were
yeah.
not the people for me, at least, like people that I would like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I just learn now to go more with my gut. It's really important.
Yeah. It's interesting that on judging people, you know, kind of like
Mm.
your instinct, and then at the same time what you say, you know, you don't like to judge people, but
Yeah,
sometimes there is something kind of inside you that says, or yeah, you know, they kind of like sort of seem like a decent.
yeah,
It's a hard thing to, you know, that kind of intuition that we have
yeah,
is kind of, I think it's just really important. I think it's more important these days that you know, kind of like where, you know, I suppose in lots of ways we don't connect with each other, you know, kind of physically as much.
yeah.
There's more kind of like sort of technology between us. So, you know, that kind of intuition, I think, is, you know, having good intuition, I think is kind of important.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of people that I just follow on Instagram, and maybe I saw them 2 times in my life, but I actually really like those people. I like their, their
Yeah.
vibe, their energy, and that 10
Yeah.
years ago was mental to say that.
Yeah, I
But now it
know.
makes more sense.
It does totally. You're totally right with that. Yeah, you can get something. I think from, you know, the way that people write, you know, the sort of the images
Yeah,
that they kind of show, how they portray themselves.
yeah.
You know, I think, yeah, I think it's right. What about the, yeah, things, you know, like a something like adaptability. I mean, do you would you say that you're quite an adaptable person?
Mm, I
I feel like I'm
think
giving you an exam.
I love it. It's like doing therapy.
It's like, whoa, I know. Yes.
I think I am actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I am. But I just yeah, yeah. I kind of like yeah, if I need to like yeah, just to I don't know. As soon as my mental health is fine,
Mm,
as soon as I feel like happy or content or
mm,
I'm quite adaptable. If I
mm,
feel uncomfortable or there's something that I don't like, something that's gonna trigger me feeling bad,
mm.
I don't stay long. That's also another thing. Like I just
Yeah.
don't stay long in places that I'm not happy. And maybe that's sometimes it's not good. Maybe I should stay longer because maybe that will, progress
Mm,
and get better. But it's just the
mm.
way I am. And it's not that I am a quitter, or maybe that's the word. I don't know. But it's more like
Yeah.
I don't have time for things that don't make me happy.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I guess some like self-preservation as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I don't need this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm going to kind of take myself out. And also, yeah, you're right. You know, it's like, you know, I don't have time for this,
Yeah.
you know, to kind of get out of it. I mean, I suppose kind of world is sort of quite uncertain as well, isn't it? And it's kind of hard to plan things, with it, to kind of any degree. And like sometimes I feel, okay, I think I feel it more, as I get older as well, that, sometimes like uncertainty, you start to feel,
Yeah.
okay, well, I wish things were just a little bit more certain, but it's kind of really hard in this world. I mean, things are so kind of complicated to kind of get stuff done.
Yeah, and more now. It's just, yeah, it's not getting easier.
You just got this sort of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose from the band's perspective, you kind of had this, for the past kind of couple of years. Can we talk? Can we not?
Yeah, we've been really peaceful. I mean, peaceful. Yeah, like cool with that. We've been really like patient, and
yeah,
we took it as it goes. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great as a kind of group of sort of people together, that you both had the same kind of approach, that okay, well, let's just kind of take it easy, and you can all kind of like agree on that.
Yeah, we really support each other.
Did you do any sort of live streams?
We did one in November. November 2020. No?
Yeah,
I don't even know which year we're anymore.
No, I know it's hard, isn't it?
Like, where are we? The first year of lockdown, we did one. I am not a massive fan of them at all, to be honest. I just find them really boring. And yeah, I mean, it was fun to do, but
yeah, I suppose sometimes in a way there are kind of means to an end. I guess some artists feel, well, I need to keep my profile. This is some way to connect, even though it might not be the most satisfying thing to do. But I mean, I remember I'm involved in in an arts lab, where we kind of put on we were putting on sort of various kind of arts events, either kind of like traditional art or music, right across arts. And we'd done sort of one physical event, and then sort of lockdowns happened, and we thought, okay, well, what do we do now? And we did sort of two kind of online festivals. They ran for about 14, 16 hours. And they were kind of started off with some yoga, and then there was some meditation, and then there was like sort of interviews with artists, and then there were kind of DJs in the evening. And at the time, I remember it was like really like, oh my god, we have no idea what we're doing. This sounds really weird doing this. No idea what to do. How the fuck do you do this? Like, well, kind of like have to hit that button, and then that brings their screen up, and it's like, oh my god, like but it was like but it worked, and it was actually sort of really good fun. But now it's just that at the time it felt really weird and kind of like new, and now it's kind of quite common doing that.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get really common though. It's good that you did yoga and all that things. That's really interesting. That's a good.
Yeah, it was. It's I mean, it's a great thing to do, because it was just literally kind of interviews with artists, interviews with musicians, and then kind of live music, and it was, I think it was just because it was really novel. It was very new, and it was just like, okay, and we did it 3 months into sort of lockdown. So by then, people were kind of like super pissed off and kind of ready to like, okay, I need something in my life now. And and it kind of worked. I think it worked quite well. Anyway, people seemed happy enough anyway.
Well, I mean, whatever makes people happier and you can help people with, that's amazing.
So going back light, I mean, you've got a load of UK dates, you've got a load of European, and then some festivals coming up as well.
And we got more dates, so we can't announce yet, but we will in the next 2 weeks.
Wow. Wow, that's going to
be easy.
That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It must be really exciting doing that. I mean, that is this your biggest? Is this going to be your biggest tour?
A headline, yes. We did one last year, but it was like 5 dates in UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. Yeah. and it was good.
So this is kind of like the sort of the bigger. I mean, how, you know, going for something, and obviously this is without knowing what's coming up for the future,
Yeah,
your future dates. But this is big anyway. I mean, how does that from a mindset point of view? How does that sort of make you feel? I mean, this is like a big kind of thing.
It's really weird because it's like if someone told me this when I was 15, you know, even like there were enemy magazines, 100 bands to look, and I don't know, it's just so weird how life works, and I'm really grateful, obviously, of what we're doing with the band. Yeah, it's a dream. It's insane.
It must be, yeah. That's kind of quite incredible. I mean, and sort of support bands as well. Do you tend to go for? Do you get involved with selection of support bands?
So yeah, who is gonna support us now is Noon Garden, which is Charles, our good friend, and we love him. So yeah.
So again,
he tours with us as well.
Okay. Yeah. So again, that kind of helps with the you know, kind of like knowing who's coming along with you, that you're gonna gonna get on with them, and
we love Charles, and last time was Lean, which is another friend of ours, which is just lovely as well. Yeah, you need people that like you love around you, or that you like at least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like for as far as the you know, kind of band goes, how do you sort of personally live it? Do you live it, you know, kind of day by day? You sort of see, okay, let's see what happens tomorrow, or do you have your own sort of longer term vision for it?
I do it day by day, I will say. I think I spent all my childhood dreaming about this, so now that I have it, I just do it day by day now. And if tomorrow finishes for any reason, I'll still be really happy for everything that happened, you know. Go to a point now that I am just, it's really amazing.
And the other thing that really sort of stands out is the band's you know, your kind of collective and individual sort of image, and your kind of visuals, artwork, you know, all sort of things like that. How do you see those, you know, the sound plus the visuals sort of working together?
We have an amazing team around us. Olia, who designs, like, you know, the album cover and everything, and the posters, and Tom, who makes the photos and the videos. And we always have this idea of like cheesy, tacky 70s, I don't know, like chewing gum, sugar, but velvet. And that's like everything that we think of. And then for the music videos, we just always have really weird ideas, and Tom is amazing. He just makes it look amazing and like gives sense to it. So we're really lucky to have such a good team around us.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like, obviously, you know, for the majority of your work, you haven't got vocals, and it's really interesting how I think, like, for me, kind of listening to you, how I kind of like imagine what message you're kind of giving. From the music itself, the sort of the emotions that it gives you. You know, when you're listening to it, we're listening to, you know, kind of melody, the harmonies that going on, the percussion, the rhythms. It's really interesting how you do that without, you know, kind of like without having to, you know, without letting people see the lyrics to the song.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, because that's what we want. Obviously, not having lyrics sometimes is harder, because we all love a good cheesy lyric to
absolutely yell, why not,
and cry at home. But it's good that we want people to have their own idea what the song is.
I think it kind of I mean, I like that idea as well, that by doing that, you're sort of allowing the listener to, to kind of make their own decision.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I guess it kind of depends where you are in your life. If there's something good going on, if there's something bad going on, you can, you turn to music in different circumstances, don't you?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
I kind of like that idea, where you do that, and you just let the music kind of do the, almost like the music do the talking, the instruments do the talking.
The work for your brain.
Yeah, absolutely, that's right. Yeah, that always kind of works for me anyway. So how do you with other things that you do, aside from the band, either kind of side hustles or other things. I don't know if you're still doing kind of modeling or sort of fashion work. How do you not fit them in, but how do you I guess it is fitting them in. How do you decide kind of what's important to you and what you want to get involved in?
Well, I quit modeling for 2 years, and now I'm back. I just got scouted by a new agency, Select. So I'm just back with them because I don't know. I think I never struggled. I mean, how can I explain this? Modeling was never my first option in life. Yeah. But also I never struggled with it in the sense that I never had thank God I never had any food, problems. I can't say it. Food problems? No.
Any good problems?
No, food problems.
Allergies? No,
like when you don't eat.
Oh, kind of like anorexia.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, anorexia, bulimia, but there's a name for both of them together. I don't know. I was lucky enough to never had obviously any of those things because it must be horrible. So in a sense, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So in a sense, I knew I could come back to modeling. Can start everything again.
It's all right. I kind of have like this. I think in life in general, I forget what I'm saying. It's like, where was it? Oh, fuck. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know what I was trying to say, but I am back in modeling, and I was doing marketing as well last year. I was working in marketing for a bar. But obviously I can't do all of it. And modeling now I think is more interesting as well than it was before. And also now my agency is also representing me as a talent. Yeah. More than just a model.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm older now as well. And I think also being represented as a talent, I can say no to some jobs that before I just had to do them.
Right.
Now,
okay.
If there's a brand that I don't like, I just say no. And that makes me, really, really happy.
So you feel like that gives you, your own control.
Yeah.
Over your life almost. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess those other things, kind of like sort of marketing and things like that. I mean, that like my daughter's studying marketing, like sort of digital marketing now. And, I kind of see the stuff she's doing and I think, wow, that is so kind of useful, kind of practically sort of useful to sort of get through life as well.
Yeah. It's a really interesting job.
Yeah. Although sort of, not as interesting as going out on a massive tour anyway, but, there you go. Brilliant. Well, listen, Agustina, thank you so much. Thanks so much for taking part in this. It's been brilliant. It's been lovely talking to you. And I really appreciate it. And I've got to say, kind of best of luck for the album release and the tour, and hopefully see you in London anyway.
Yeah, if you come over, come and say hi. We can have a tequila shot.
I will do for sure.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care, Agustina. Bye. Thanks for listening to the show, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you'll tune in for the next episode. In the meantime, it would be really awesome if you could rate and review the show and also share it with any friends who you think might enjoy it.